Hey everybody, my name is Sharon Quinn. I'm also known as the original runway diva, and you are watching Model Behavior. Class is officially in session. Today my guest lecturer is Tiffany Bank. Tiffany is a plus-size model, reality TV personality, and a monthly contributor to Plus Model magazine. Welcome, Tiffany, to Model Behavior.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, you know, we teach on this show. That's what this show is about. It's about educating people who want to do what it is that you do.
Great.
So, I always ask, the first question is, how did you get your start in doing what it is you do? Now, I know I met you when you first started modeling.
Yeah.
So let's start there. How did you get started in modeling?
In the beginning, so I was in San Francisco, and I was watching TV one day, and I was watching Entertainment Tonight, and I saw Velvet D'Amour do runway for Jean-Paul Gaultier fashion show, and I was sitting there and watching this because they were covering this, because it made major news back in, I believe it was 2005.
Yeah.
And I had never seen that before, and I was so shocked and so surprised that the media was celebrating this, because you know, growing up, it was the Cindy Crawfords and the Tyra Banks and, you know, Linda Evangelistas. And I saw her, and they were really celebrating her. And I said, you know, I want to start a fire for other women the way that she started a fire for me, for confidence and, you know, positive body image. So I just kind of did a few test shoots in San Francisco just to see, like, if I had anything in me to do it. And I did a few photo shoots for, you know, a few months, and then I decided that, you know, on a whim, I just came to New York City sort of like with no plan. And for a year, I volunteered at different plus-size events and plus-size fashion shows and photo shoots, and you dropped 50 pounds, and then I took some professional...
Somebody told you to drop 50 pounds, or
No,
you just decided to do that for yourself? I decided to do it, and
it just was like a natural thing. It wasn't like, you know, I decided that I had to be 50 pounds smaller. I just was heavier, and I was already just in the gym just because I wanted to change up my lifestyle. And I said, well, now's the time. I have the knowledge, I have the contacts, I have the drive, and so I, on a whim, just kind of submitted to an agency, and I was accepted. And now, you know, 8 years later, I've been with, I think, 7 or 8 agencies. So that's in a nutshell sort of how it started.
So you're still modeling, right?
I am, yeah.
Now, are you with an agency now, or are you freelancing?
I'm freelancing non-exclusively with a few agencies.
And how is that working for you?
Good, yeah. I mean, you have to kind of feel out what works for you. Some girls do really well signed, you know, exclusively to an agency. And for me, that didn't work out, and I get work with, you know, either on my own or through the agencies.
Now, you said you get it on your own. Now, I know all about that little hustle, and it is a hustle.
It's a hustle.
Break it down when you're freelancing, because not everybody can get. I would say 95% of aspiring models are not going to get signed.
Right.
So when you're freelancing,
right,
break it down as to what it is you have to do as far as managing your own brand, if you will.
Right. Well, the way I did it, I know different girls have different methods, but the way I did it is that I sort of paid attention closely to, you know, the industry over the years, like who's up and coming in terms of designers and photographers and other models and things like that. And, you know, in the beginning, I did a lot of things for free because I wanted to earn my way. I wanted to get an idea. You know, I didn't feel like, you know, I could get paid for something I didn't know how to do. So in the beginning, I did a lot of free things. And so I would, you know, make relationships with designers and reach out to people, you know, through their websites or whatever. And after I sort of gathered up some test shoots and had some work under my belt, then I sort of presented it to magazines or designers, just saying, you know, I love your work and I would like to work with you, and just hope that they, you know, have an interest in you the same way that you have an interest in them. And then on top of that, I look online for different castings, you know, that are offered through different casting companies, or you have to be careful, you have to weed out, you know, the bad ones, but, you know, and just submit yourself constantly submitting, and hopefully, and telling your agents, you know, who you're interested in working with along the way, and hopefully that sort of pops one day.
Does that work?
It does. Not all the time, but, you know, it can't hurt to say who your dream clients are. Okay. And, you know, I've had agents who have pushed for me for certain people who I've wanted to work with, and it's worked, and sometimes it hasn't. It all depends on what they're looking for,
Right.
you know?
You can't take it personally. You
No,
just
not at all.
gotta keep it moving. It's not anything about you. You're just not the right fit for the brand.
Exactly.
And I try to impart that to a lot of chicks, because if you take it personally, you're doomed in this business.
Done.
Yeah.
Done.
This is a business about rejection, and if you don't come in understanding that, you're gonna be mad a lot. Okay.
Very mad. Yeah, I mean, it took a few test runs of my skin being, tested for how strong it was when I walked into a designer's office and they had me try on some jeans, and they said, "Oh, your butt is too big for fashion." And when I walked away, I thought it was the most hilarious thing, because it's like you have to like let it roll off your back. But to get to the point of just kind of like laughing it off and walking away, it took a lot.
Yeah, because some people will internalize that and then be doing all sorts of crazy stuff to lose a butt that will probably work for the next client.
And it does.
Yeah. So now, do you just do print, or do you do print and runway? What's your specialty, or do you have one?
That's a good question. I've done everything. I've done print, showroom, runway, fit modeling. I do mostly fit modeling now, but my favorite is runway.
Of course.
I don't know if you know a little bit about that.
Yeah,
but
just a smidgen. I know a little bit about that. I also know that there's not a lot of that work available.
No, unfortunately.
I mean, there's a lot of fashion shows available. You can work in fashion shows. You're not gonna get a lot of money though.
Yeah.
And if the end goal is to increase your income,
no, that's just for fun.
Yeah, you gotta just do that because that's something that you love.
I love it
to do.
Yeah.
So you do a lot of fit.
I do. I've been blessed to be the fit model for a lot of brands who either had existing plus-size collections or they were developing plus-size collections and used me for their size 18 fit model, and which is huge thanks to my agents along the way, because otherwise, I wouldn't be able to have those connections without them. But I feel it's a cool experience to be a fit model, because people think, they don't really know what it is, but you really are a major part of making something for women who are your size and being a part of that. It's your body, it's your butt, it's your stomach, it's your legs, and they're really designing this garment around you, and it's just a really cool experience to to be a part of something that will help and make women feel sexy, So
that's the first time I've ever heard it explained like that. I don't hear a lot of people associate cool with fit.
I love it.
But
it's a hard job, but I love it. It's super hard, but I love it because, you have to, what women don't know, if they want to get into fit modeling, you have to have certain measurements.
And you have to keep them.
You have to keep them. And I've suffered in many ways, whether I've lost too much weight or I've gained too much weight and I've lost clients, So it's a real thing, It's really hard. It's probably one of the hardest types of modeling is to be a fit model, because your measurements are so specific, and everything is counting on that 1 inch, that half an inch, the 2 inches. But if you can keep it together and they continue to use you, it's such a blessing.
Yeah, and the perks are really great.
Huge.
Yeah, talk about some of the perks you get for being.
I mean, you get to have some of their clothing, but for me, honestly, it's the relationship, which is a huge benefit, because to think that I'm sitting in an office for this one of the world's biggest brands, to do their first line of curvy jeans, for women. I mean, that for me is the biggest perk. Really, it is, because not many women get to be a certain fit model or be a part of something that's so profound like that,
Okay.
So
now you've also done a reality TV piece. You did the show Big Sexy.
Yeah,
that's
Big
what it's called.
Sexy.
Now, how did you get into that? Did they have an open audition, or did your agent get that for you? How did you stumble onto that?
Yeah, it's funny because I got an email in my email one day, and it was in my spam box, and I just happened to check my spam box for we're looking for girls for this show. If you're interested, let me know. So I emailed them. It was like a casting, and I emailed and I said, I really think I should be on the show. And the next day they called me in, and then I was the first girl cast on the show.
Okay.
And it was in 2011, and it was a good run. I mean, unfortunately, I didn't get picked up, but it was quite the experience.
Now let's talk about that experience, because I've done reality television too, and it's not always a positive experience for everyone.
Yeah.
But what was that experience like for you?
It was tough because what people don't realize is that like you're still filming a show. So, there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of long hours, a lot of schedule, like it's heavy on the schedule, and it's hard to like be vulnerable when you don't want to be. Like sometimes you feel closed off and you have to explain and you have to talk about things and you have to be like an open book, and a lot of us sometimes tend to like not, it's hard sometimes, like if you're tired or whatever. So, and really with this show, it was like, everything is out there for the world to see. And of course, I love the camera, so I'm a ham. So I'm like, I was like, all right, what do you want? I'll do it. It was.
So what was the premises of this? The premise of the show?
It was a plus-size Sex in the City, basically. That's sort of like the goal.
Okay, I don't have cable, so
okay.
I didn't get to see a lot. I saw a couple episodes online. Yeah. But so this is it takes you through the dating lives of, was it 4 women?
It was 5 of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this wasn't like what's the dating show where I think Fox did the show?
Bachelor? More to Love?
Yeah. Y'all weren't.
No, it wasn't like a competition show or anything like that. It was really like I would say like a housewives type show. Like it was like everyday life, It wasn't like we were all living in a house or anything like that. So it was, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Was the stuff that you shot, because I know that you shoot a lot of footage.
A lot.
And then only a little bit makes it to the final edit.
Yeah.
And they edit stuff to get the storyline that they want.
Yep.
So were you surprised at what the final outcome was, or did they stay true to what you did?
After we did our screening, I was like so impressed with the editing and our stories. Of course, they took out a lot of stuff. It was supposed to be originally like so many episodes, and then they had to shrink it down to a certain amount of episodes, and so that was unfortunate because I think a lot of the stuff that we did was so good, but the end product, we were just like, this is they really wanted it to be like a positive show, and they took out, whatever drama that we had, or they took out, they really kept it very easy and friendly and happy and like positive. And unfortunately, because of the way television is,
that was my next question. Do you think that positive turn is the reason why that it wasn't picked up? Because you need a little drama,
right?
Or people are not going to watch,
right?
Which is really unfortunate,
right?
But you think maybe that has something to do with it not being picked up?
And I have to applaud the network that
which network?
It was TLC.
Okay.
I have to applaud them because they were the ones who are like, you know what, we're gonna do something different. We're not gonna do any of that dramatic stuff. We're gonna do it like all happy and positive and really inspirational. And it got really good ratings like the first 2 weeks, and then it's just one of those things, TV, it's like, all right.
Yeah, it's fickle, and if you ain't busting bottles up against folks' heads and cursing people out, our attention span is real quick,
unfortunately.
Which is bad.
Yeah.
Now, have you auditioned for other reality TV stuff?
Yeah, I've been approached to do a few other things. I'm actually right now in talks to do something this fall.
Okay.
In LA, so we'll see if that happens. But I've been asked to do, after that show, I was actually asked to do a certain show on a certain network that I'm not going to say, but it was one of those negative shows where it was like drama, drama, drama. And I was asked 3 times to be on that show, and I declined each time.
And is this a plus size?
Nope. So
ow.
I was like, no, thank you.
Image is important. I mean, my experience with reality TV, and when we were doing Fat Chance, there were lots of other things that were on the Flavor of Love and Charm School and things like that. And I believe you can get some good camera time and not do something that's gonna make your mother want to bury herself up under the house.
I think my mom still felt embarrassed from some things I did, but oh well.
But people watch that stuff and they take it seriously.
Yeah,
so you have to be really careful about what it is you do, because somebody will roll up on you on the street and want to fight you, and you're like, this stuff is not real, right?
Right.
You have to let them know you're a little crazy. This is not real. But so you got this thing coming in September.
Maybe.
Okay, fingers crossed. Girl, you got to claim it.
We'll see.
You got to claim it.
It's happening.
It's going to happen
I'm going
for
to LA.
you.
It's going to happen. It's going to be awesome. And it's different from what I've done, so it'll be interesting.
Now, you are also a contributing writer for Plus Model magazine. I'm going to come back to that because I have a couple of questions here. But remind me if I forget.
Okay.
Now, do you believe that the plus size industry has evolved or not since you started, and why?
Ooh, it's definitely evolved. I started in 2007.
Okay.
And it's definitely gotten very intense. You know, back in the day, it was just, I've been doing it for 8 years, which is, I've known you that long. That's crazy. That's so crazy. And back in the day, it was really just, you know, that was before the social media and before the Instagram and all that. And before, it was really, truly just trying to get work, you know, and just getting honest to goodness work. And I feel like now there's so many campaigns, and social media is so heavy, and which can be a really positive thing, but also it just offers more pressure for girls who want to get work, because then it's just so much going on, you know. So I find, for me, it's harder for me to stand out or for me to get jobs now because, well, first of all, I'm old now, so all these beautiful girls coming in.
But you don't look old.
Well, thank you. But I think in people's minds, it's like, okay, she's been doing this for 8 years. She's still modeling. What is she doing? Like, you know, it's like, so they forget about me. It's like, oh, didn't she already do this already? And it's like, no, I still haven't done a lot of things that I want to do, but I just feel like it's gotten better in terms of the conversation has gotten heavier and it's gotten more open, and there's been so many positive things that have happened, but it also makes it a little bit harder to get work, because there's, you know, girls coming in, and brands have different concepts that you don't really. I personally don't look like, you know, I've been rejected a lot, so it's hard for me to find sort of who will hire me for what, because I'm not the typical, I guess you would say, you know, one of the top, you know, 20 girls or anything like that by any means. And I've been told that by an agent, that she's like, you'll never get work doing this, and this, the things that you want to do, you'll never do it because of the way that the brands, you know,
I love when people tell me I can't do something, because then I'm going to break my neck to show you that I can, and go and come to you and go, see?
It's hard.
Now let's talk about Plus Model Magazine, because you're doing good stuff over there too. Maddie told me.
I love
so
that.
So let's talk about what it is you're doing there.
Yeah, oh my gosh, it's such a joy for me. I've been contributing for 7 years, and my first ever interview was Velvet, which was like such a head turner for me, because I was like, wow, let's see how things end up, you know. And I was interviewing her for a magazine, and I have covered events, but I mostly, what I do, which I'm very thankful for, that I get to do the Spotlight Model of the Month. So I'll go and I'll scout up-and-coming plus-size models, and I've been doing it so long that, like, the girls that I first found are like super successful models. Not that I have anything to do with it, but like it's really cool to see.
Give me a couple names, some people that you've scouted and have gone on to do.
I mean, there's one girl
things.
so there's one girl, Frances, who I really love. That she was my like spotlight model, and you know, I think she works with Wilhelmina now, and I don't know if at the time she was signed or not, but like, I just see her doing amazing things, and, you know, getting bookings for like major campaigns and things like that. And, you know, not necessarily like big names in the industry in terms of like celebrity, but like girls
getting
who
signed with Wilhelmina is quite a coup.
No, I've seen girls get signed with major agencies, and not that, like I said, I'm just happy that I had any part of that to like just introduce them into the industry right when they got signed, or right when they were like freelancing or just starting. And I've been doing it for 7 years, and it's my way of kind of paying it forward to the girls that gave me chances, like Mia and Maddie, and, you know, all the women who really pulled together for me when I first started. So I'm gonna keep doing it, because it really is a huge satisfaction to be able to, like, they get so excited. And I was a Spotlight Model of the Month back in the day, so it's like, it's really cool.
So okay, so now you done said Spotlight Model, and some lights have gone off.
Oh.
So how does someone submit to be a Spotlight Model of the Month for Plus Model Magazine?
It's really easy. You just email. Can I give the email?
Yes, absolutely.
You email spotlightplusmodel@gmail.com, and you send in. This is the important part. You send 3 to 4 professional test shots, portfolio shots, and what that means is that they need to go to a professional photographer with like hair and makeup and a stylist, and you know, they have to study sort of like what test shots are. And Plus Model Magazine offers a lot of information of what your first shoot should be and look like, commercial look and fashion look or whatever. Send me those like retouched, ready to go, like 3 to 4 professional photos for consideration, because I get a lot of like selfies and things like that.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't send selfies, y'all.
Yeah.
I mean,
selfies don't book campaigns.
And that just tells people that you're a rank amateur if you do that. So, yeah, don't send her selfies, please. Thanks. Go ahead.
I mean, you can send it to me to say hello. I like hellos, but like no. Yeah. So, because we use those photos for the interview. The photos that you send me, your portfolio photos, are what we used, so people can see what you can offer. And so, yeah, so just email 3 to 4 professional photos with a little bit about yourself to that spotlightplusmodel@gmail.com. And yeah.
And if you get selected, so your full body picture is in the magazine?
Yeah, full body, headshot, 3/4. Yeah, you get like 3 to 4 photos in the interview, so it's a great introduction to the industry. Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. That's sort of like if the magazine was in print, that'd be like a couple tear sheets.
That's huge. Yeah, I know. For me, when I got it back 8 years ago, I was on the floor. I was so excited because it's like there's a lot of people that read the magazine, so and people want to tell their stories. So
okay.
Yeah.
Now, you are you acting?
I am.
Are you taking classes?
I am. Yeah, I've been training for 6 years.
Oh.
Yeah, and I got my first 2 roles that just premiered in New York last month. So.
Come on, don't just throw that out there and not say what it is.
Oh yeah, so one film, they always say no role is too small. So I almost say that there's smaller roles. It's not like they're like principal roles. They're supporting roles, which were like huge for me. And one was a film called Boxed In that was written and directed by Tasha Smith, who is famous for a lot of the Tyler Perry, like Why Did I Get Married?
Sister Sidra was my acting coach.
Oh yeah, Sidra. She was the executive producer on that. Yeah, that was a huge like deal. That was a big deal for me. She gave me my first speaking role in a film because she's my mentor and I'm her student. So that was big, and we filmed it last year, and it premiered last month during a film festival.
Okay.
And I played a therapist. And the other film was called Supermodel, directed by Sean Baker, and there was some names like Tyson Beckford, and it was a Datari Turner production, and it was about a model and just about her, just the industry and what she's going through, and I had a role in that, playing a casting director.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
So you like the acting piece?
I love it.
So I'm going to see more work from you?
I mean, this is, like, if anyone needs me for anything, can I just plug?
Yes, sure.
If anyone needs me, I can do what you need me to. I can play whatever. Just give me a shot. But I do love it. I love it.
So do you have any advice that you could give to young models and actors who are coming up in the game? Because it's changed. Even in 7 years since you started, it's changed so much.
Yeah.
It's certainly not what it was when I was in it.
Right.
So what kind of advice can you offer?
I would say, I think find what it is that find your niche and find sort of, you don't have to be, and something that Maddie said on a radio show that always sticks with me, and I always tell women who write to me, like, people always think that women think that they have to be plus size models in order to be confident women. They see it, they see the women with the photo shoots and the models doing their thing, and they think, oh, I want to be a plus size model, because they equate that with, I want to be gorgeous and sexy and have confidence. And if it's something that you really want to do, by all means, but there's other ways of being in the industry where you are inspiring and feel confident just the same. So I would say just like study what it is that you want to do and do your homework. If you're a model, what are the agencies looking at in terms of, measurements and height and things like that?
What the industry standard is.
Exactly. Yep. And if you don't fulfill that, then don't be discouraged. There's other, you can be a fit model who's 5'5". You can be a stylist. There's so much you can do. And I guess, really doing your homework and really researching, and not just like, asking on Twitter, hey, how do I become a plus size model? It's like, well, have you done the backup, the history of, have you looked through Plus Model magazine? Have you Googled anything? And I had to do that before social media. So I actually showed up to events. I think one of the place I first met you, I believe, there was a plus size pageant, and it was like 8 years ago. And I heard about it like on Craigslist, and I emailed and I said, can I just come and show up? I asked so many questions, and I was like backstage just helping and giving water to the models. And you really have to show up and get involved and ask questions.
Absolutely.
So that you can't just, it's an industry like every other industry. It's a business like every other business.
And don't be walking around thinking that plus size models are just a pool of confidence. Models are some of the most insecure creatures on the planet.
It's hard.
Okay, there's a lot of faking going on there. Okay. Now you also you guest speaker at colleges.
Yeah.
What is your platform?
I have been lucky enough to be a guest speaker at Columbia University for their women's college, Barnard College.
Oh,
they reached out to me after Big Sexy came on, and I've been back a few times to speak to their women's department about body confidence. And they ask me everything from plus size fashion to reality television to how I got into it and just my story. And I feel so honored to do that because it's something that I love doing. I love public speaking. I love getting involved, especially for the younger generation.
You can have public speaking. Yeah. That is not for me. But we're almost out of time.
Okay.
I want to thank you so much for coming and letting us pick your brain today, because I sure did a lot of picking.
It was a pleasure.
I'd like to thank my guest, Tiffany Bank, for sharing her industry knowledge with us today. Now, before I go, I'd like to leave you with a few thoughts as always. Remember that you can't change the game until you first learn the game. Always surround yourself with positive people and positive things, and do what you love and love what you do. Thanks for watching Model Behavior, and I'll see you guys next week. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. Follow us on Facebook. And if you missed an episode of Model Behavior, now you can catch up on all the previous episodes by following our YouTube channel. Just put in Model Behavior with Sharon Quinn, and all of the previous episodes will come up. Thanks for watching. Class is officially dismissed. Bye, y'all.